Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. It will be a pleasure to give you a tour throughout our products. What you can see here in the screen is a celebration that started in 1987. A celebration of a landmark of establishing strategies for the future in terms of sustainability and low carbon emissions. This for sure would have a big impact in the AC industry, as it was the first focus for the target of the reduction of the global GWP. As you can see, for global GWP, the data that we have together with us, in terms of carbon emissions, the first stage was to target and adopt energy efficient ACs, and as a second step, to have the promotion of low GWPs, HFCs, or refrigerants in this case. Today, challenges are very clear for us. We are here in this room, we all know about the projects that are in Saudi, we all know about the projects that are being designed. So the increase of air conditioning demand will be there. Actually, the data that we have as of today shows us that it will be 3 times higher than the day that we stand. So there will be also an increase in demand of electricity. This will lead to increase of CO2 emissions that eventually will accelerate global warming. This poses a huge challenge for both institutions of governmental issues and also for the manufacturers. We see huge steps towards Saudi Arabia by the increase of the maps through SASO, by disseminating efficient air conditions and trying to minimize the CO2 emissions on new building power plants. If you look into the normal consumption in a real case scenario of HVAC, we can see that the usual consumption, in this case we are referring to a study from CAPSARC that was conducted in Jeddah region, 49% of the energy consumption will come through buildings. In a building, 75% of the energy consumption will come through ACs. So we found already a pattern and we found already something that we need to address. CO2 emissions is something that we really need to take care and to address it. There are either 2 ways to do it. Either we go by adding new refrigerants that have low GWP to our equipments, or we found a solution to reduce also the power consumption that is coming from the air conditioning itself. The first stage that it came through under the Montreal Protocol was targeting and focusing CFCs and HFCs to be the first refrigerants to be downsized and then phased out throughout the years. Then the second phase, it came in the Kigali Amendment, was having a focus on HFCs. So what will be the next step for us? Because there is no many options in the industry that we can use in terms of refrigerants. So the next step is obviously to use low GWP refrigerants like the R32, the HOF 1234ZA, and the HOF 1233ZA also. From the manufacturer point of view, this brings us a huge challenge, because when you are designing an equipment, yes, we do tend to consider the GWP and the ODP of the refrigerant that we are using, but we also need to understand the safety of the refrigerants. We also need to understand how much efficient this refrigerant will be. We need to understand the cost of the design and the cost of the compressors. In the end, the overall cost of the equipment. There is no meaning, there is no sense of designing something that is very efficient, but there is no applicability then in the real life. So Daikin advantage is that we are the only manufacturer in the HVAC world that actually produces his own equipment, his own compressors, and his own refrigerant. So this puts us in a very unique position to support the industry and then, therefore, to support the society. That's why we took part of this expertise and we made the decision of adopt the R32 as the new refrigerant that should be spread out throughout our portfolio of products. As a matter of fact, we also heard in the morning that there is social responsibility when we are designing something. There is social responsibility also for companies. We do understand the social responsibility from ourselves as a Daikin, and we released the patent that we had from ourselves on the R32 for free, allowing other competitors also to use the same refrigerant in their portfolio of products, therefore reducing the carbon emissions and the global warming potential. As a matter of fact, there is also another way of reducing these CO2 emissions, is also to have more efficient equipment. And we were the first one to introduce these equipments in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We were the first company who was able to introduce the high ambient inverter R32 way back before the SASO asked for these type of regulations and maps. So a step ahead of the market. This was in 2017. Back in 1988, we were also already supporting the Kingdom of Saudi. We were the first company who installed a VRV high ambient unit. As a nutshell on a VRV, we are talking about a very efficient unit that can lead up to 28 to 30% savings energy. It's a one outdoor unit connected to several indoor units. Each indoor unit can easily choose its temperature and freely choose its temperature. The system will just deliver to you the required amount of capacity because it's a full inverter system and can modulate stepless, and is the only system in the market that is guaranteed to operate up to 55 degrees outside conditions. We keep extending our innovation products and we keep extending our portfolio of products. We saw in the morning also there is a big demand in terms of the industry, hospitality industry. So for sure, when you are talking about comfort, we are talking about hot water production. So might be not a good census to say, okay, we are in a hot region, so why do I need hot water? This is mandatory for industry and for the hospitality sector. So from our side, we are able also to provide this solution through our unique systems, water to water or air to water with a heat exchange plate to plate. All this equipment, although is very efficient, without control is meaningless. If we don't control and we don't monitor our equipment, we will not understand if the unit is performing, if the unit is consuming too much energy or not. That's why from our side also, we offer a comprehensive solution of control systems that can not only control our own equipment, but can also be integrated with third-party equipment like firefighting, lighting, and elevators. As a matter of fact, we extend our support to our unique features as a DNet, and with this software system, we can monitoring your system from the distance. This means that we can even understand if there is a solo unit that is left alone to work for a long period of time that is consuming a lot of energy. This can also allow us to understand if a mechanical part is under stress. If this mechanical part is under stress, we will receive an alarm, and we can deploy our technicians straight on site to understand if this is a wrong reading or if this is really a malfunction that will lead to a major failure. So faster action from our side. As a matter of fact, when you are implementing remote monitoring and control on your HVAC systems, you are reducing 30% the power consumption, you are reducing up to 40% the need of maintenance, and you are reducing up to 60% the failure and the breakdown time. And when we are talking about hospitality, equipment that is not performing well or is stopped is a major issue for the operator. We've been talking about sustainability and the Saudi vision. The Saudi vision is very clear, either throughout the message that is being given by the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, or the King Salman Abdulaziz Al Saud. Sustainability and low carbon emissions should be tackled in the future. And we have the chance to do it because the Vision 2030 is the catalyst for this one. We have huge projects in the market that can incorporate such technologies that can support the kingdom to achieve its targets in the future. From our side, it's very clear. We also have our own statement in terms of what should be our vision for the future. As a number one company in the market, all eyes are focused on us. So we will keep continuing our support throughout the products, throughout solutions, and throughout the power of the air, in a meaning of the heat pump solution that was invented by Daikin. If you look to all our portfolio of products, you will see the implementation of low GWP refrigerants. This is something that we will put a huge focus, not only with R32, but we are also exploring other solutions like CO2 and 1234AZ. All in all, Daikin will be there regardless of the size of the project, regardless of the climate, regardless of the requirements that you have. a true total solution provider for your project. My message, our message is very clear. In this room, there are the persons who can transform Saudi Arabia into achieving his results and to achieving his goals. In the world that is transforming, what we ask you is to transform with Daikin. Thank you so much.